Have you ever found yourself falling, and I mean falling hard and fast for someone you basically just met? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today. We are doing a deep dive into the science behind why this happens, that powerful, kind of crazy mix of brain chemistry and childhood stuff that can totally take over. This question, Matt, it hits home for so many of us, right? It comes from a character named Maya, and she has found herself completely wrapped up in this guy she's only been on 3 dates with. It's a feeling that might be, just a little too familiar. So, what is going on here? Why does this happen? We're going to unpack that potent mix of biology and psychology behind this incredibly powerful and, let's be honest, often painful experience. But the answer is way more fascinating and way more fixable than you probably think. Okay, to really get this, let's start with Maya's story. Picture this. She's just staring at her phone. Her heart is pounding, waiting for a text from this guy, Julian. He hasn't replied in 5 hours, and her entire world feels like it is hanging in the balance. I mean, just look at this massive disconnect. On one side, you have the actual reality. 3 dates, a couple plates of tapas. He's a near stranger. But on the other side, in her head, she's got a whole fantasy life planned out. And this isn't just a little disappointment. Her nervous system has triggered a full-on fight or flight response. Her body is reacting as if she's literally being chased by a predator. So what is causing such an intense physical and emotional reaction? It's not just all in her head. It's in her brain chemistry. See, when you feel that spark, your brain turns into this little chemical factory, mixing up a super potent cocktail that can feel absolutely impossible to resist. First up, you've got dopamine. Now, we think of it as the pleasure chemical, but it's really about motivation. It's the craving. So when Julian's texting is unpredictable, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, he becomes a human slot machine. That quick reply feels like a jackpot, and a long wait just makes Maya want to pull that lever again and again, totally desperate for the reward. It literally creates an obsession.
And then there's oxytocin. This is the bonding hormone, the cuddle chemical. It's released through intimacy, and its whole job, evolutionarily speaking, is to literally glue us to a partner. But here's the catch. Oxytocin doesn't do a background check. It's designed to bond you, period, whether that person is a great match or completely wrong for you. It just doesn't care.
And to top it all off, your serotonin levels actually drop in the early stages of romance. These low levels are similar to what you see in people with obsessive-compulsive disorder, and that is why you get the obsessive thoughts, rereading texts 100 times, overanalyzing every single word, and just finding it impossible to think about anything else. Okay, so this chemical storm happens to pretty much everyone. But why does it feel like a Category 5 hurricane for some people, like Maya, but maybe just a light drizzle for others? Well, this is where we have to look past the biology and dig into our personal history.
The answer, it turns out, lies in our very first relationships. The patterns we learned as infants, how to get love, how to get care from our parents, they become this unconscious blueprint for how we act in our adult romantic relationships. We're basically running a program we don't even know is there.
And this is the core of something called attachment theory, which was pioneered by researchers like John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth way back when. Their work showed that how we bonded with our parents as babies creates this internal map that we unconsciously follow for the rest of our lives in our relationships. And those early patterns, they are incredibly powerful. Which brings us to the anxious, preoccupied style. So if you had a caregiver whose love and affection felt unpredictable, sometimes they were warm, sometimes they were distant, you might have learned that love is this scarce resource that you have to constantly watch and work for. This can create an adult who is hypervigilant, always needing reassurance, and forms these super intense, super fast attachments. So here is the absolute heart of it. For someone with an anxious attachment style, latching on quickly isn't really a romantic thing. It's a deep, subconscious survival strategy. Your brain is basically screaming, secure this person, lock this down before they see your flaws and leave you. And this powerful drive to attach fast leads to another really important idea. When Maya feels like she's in love with Julian after just 3 dates, is she actually in love with him, or is she in love with an idea she's created in her head? And this is where we have to talk about the huge difference between love and something called limerence. You see, real love is built on reality. It takes time.
Limerence, on the other hand, is a firework. It's this instant, dazzling explosion of fantasy and idealization. You're not seeing the real person, you're seeing a projection of who you want them to be.
Think of it like this, right? A new person is essentially a blank canvas. And if you have that anxious attachment wiring, you very quickly paint your ideal partner right onto them, projecting all your hopes and all your unmet needs. You end up falling for your own painting, not the actual person holding the canvas. Now, I know this might all be sounding a little heavy, maybe even a bit bleak, but listen, this is the most important part of this whole thing. You are not stuck. Because of something called neuroplasticity, our brains can literally change. You can rewire these old patterns and move from an anxious style to what's called an earned secure attachment. So, how do you actually do this? In the moment when that anxiety is spiking. Okay, here are 4 practical steps. First, just acknowledge the feeling in your body, that tightness in your chest, right? Second, talk to that younger part of you and just reassure them that you're safe now. Third, ground yourself in the facts, not the fantasy. And fourth, and honestly, this changes everything. You shift your entire goal. This right here, this is the whole game. It is a revolutionary mindset shift. It moves you from a place of needing their approval to a place of empowered evaluation. It puts you back in the driver's seat of your own love life. You're not auditioning for a part in their life. You are now holding the auditions for a part in yours. So let's circle all the way back to Maya. She gets that polite but kind of distant text from Julian. The old Maya would have panicked. She would have sent some fawning, overeager response. But the new Maya, who understands all of this now, she does something completely different. I mean, just look at the difference here. Her old response is practically begging for reassurance. But her new response? It's calm, it matches his energy, and it leaves the ball in his court. She's not chasing anymore, she's observing. This tiny little change is a massive act of self-respect and self-regulation. And that's because the real long-term solution isn't just about managing anxiety when you're waiting for a text. It's about building a life that is so full, with amazing friends, with passions, with a solid sense of your own worth, that a partner becomes a wonderful addition, not the entire foundation of your happiness. Ultimately, that frantic search for a home in another person is really just a sign that we need to build that home inside ourselves first. The security, the love, and the validation that you're looking for out there, it's already inside of you. It's just waiting for you to move in.
Please like and subscribe.